Hello there everybody, I hope you're all doing fine. So in the last few videos we've gone through the very basics of Python. We covered data types and arithmetic operators. We also gone through some handy functions like the type and the absolute functions. And in this video we're going to cover something a little bit different. We're going to talk about data structures and collections in Python, and specifically we're going to cover the list data structure in Python. So the way you can think of lists, like imagine with me you have a lot of variables and you want to store the data of these variables in a collection, in a box, so they are stored there and you can manipulate the box and know how many items there, in our case variables, and you can manipulate that list however you like. So let's go through some example so that this notion sink in. Alright, for example, we have these variables, variable 1, let's make it an integer. Also, let's can store all kinds of data types. They don't have to be specifically one data type, like just integers or strings. They can be various. You can have integers, booleans, whatever data types you want to put there. And also, let's store data in order, so you can call them in order sequentially. You don't have everything randomized in that list. Well, variable 2, let's give it like 10, and let's add another variable. Let's give it a boolean value. Here I have this list. Let me call it L. This is how we refer to lists. We just open two square brackets like this, and whatever data you want to store, you just put it here inside. So I'll put v1, and we separate it with this comma, v2 and v3. You can add other variables here, for example 1.5. Here, if you want to print it, you simply use the print function. L. If I hit Control B, I see a list here with all the data that I stored inside. And if I want to know the count of this list, how many items are in this list, all what I have to do is to use the len function that comes with the Python library, len, and I open two brackets and I put inside the name of the list I want to know the length of. So I type L and it's Control B, and I see 4 printed in the console, because I only have 4 variables here. If I have more, I will get more, 5. If you want, like for example, to sum the values of that are inside this list, you make use of the sum function, which does nothing but give you the sum of all of these variables here. But here we'll get an error, because we don't have only we have strings and booleans, and string and booleans can't be addable with integers and floats. If you want to get the sum of this list, we'll have to have another list which contains nothing but numbers, either integers or floats. So let me change these variables here to floats and integers. Here it's called L2, and the one above L1. So if I hit Control B, I get the sum of this list. And in the same manner, if I want to get the maximum number here, I just use the max function. It gives me the maximum number in this list, which is in our case 45. If I hit Control B, I get 45, and vice versa. If I want to get the minimum value here in this list, which is in our case 1, I just you might have guessed it, I use the min function. That's my min. It's Control B, and there you go. Well, if you want to get one value of these values, you have to know that items inside a list are indexed, meaning that we start counting or defining our items from 0 incrementally. So I can see that this one has an identity of 0 or index of 0. This one 1, 2, 3, 4, and just like that for us how many variables we have there. So like for example, I want to get the item in this list that has index 3. In our case, that will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 1.5. This one has the index of 3. And if I want to print it, I do the following. Let me come this line. I refer to the name of the list I want to get an item in. Let's say for our case L2. I open two brackets and I put inside the index that I want to get its value. In our case, we said 3, which will give us 1.5. If I go through and hit Control B, I get 1.5. And the same goes for all the other values. If I want to get like the first value, I start from 0. Let's Control B, I get 1. And if I want like to use negative numbers, that will mean, well, when I see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that means that I am starting from the right to the left. But if I want to start from the left to the right, I have to use negative numbers. In that case, number 3 will be indexed my negative 1, this negative 2, this negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and just like that. So here, if I put negative 1, I should get the last number here, which is 3. And just like that, minus 2 will give me the item right before it, 0.5. And that's it. So we can also add the lists together. Like for example, when we add lists, this list will get added to the end of this list. Basically, I will get one list that contains the items here and here in order. So if I do L2, L1, plus L2, I should get a list that contains all the items in both lists. Control B, and that's exactly what I get. And also, if you want to add some other variable to our list, like to the end of it, we just make use of the append function. This is what we do. Like we have L1. We want to add the value true to the end of the list. What we do is the following: L2, L1, append true. Just like that. If I print now L1, I should get the original list that we had before, which is this, and true is added to the end of it. And you can add as many variables as you like, and whatever data type, just like that. In the same manner, if you want to delete some value from our list, we just make use of the remove function, which is like this. For example, I want to remove this 1.5 from my list. What I do is this: I just refer to the function I want to the list I want to remove an item from, and I type remove, and I give it the variable I want to remove. It's Control B, and I get a list without the variable that I had before, which got removed. Now it doesn't belong to the list. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you liked the video. So look forward for future videos. They're coming soon. We'll be talking about other data structures like tuples, which are basically just lists, but immutable, meaning that they don't change. If we have a value there that we can't add to it or remove from it. And also there dictionaries, which are also known as maps in other languages. We'll be covering all of those in the future. So thanks very much for watching, and take care.